Welcome to Beer Grilled Skinny, where a mother-daughter team embraces the random. I'm the daughter, Lori Ann.
And I'm the mama, Justine.
And today there's been a lot of random.
Oh, yes.
Late by day because we've been having what y'all might call technical difficulties. We were trying to use this microphone that a friend of ours gave us, and for some reason it's just not cooperating. And so, as a result, we're going to be a bit late on the video aspect of our podcast. It's coming. You can get to see what we look like. Hope it doesn't scare you off. So today we're going to talk about, well, I guess I'm going to do most of the talking because unless you have feedback.
Well, let me just say this. I wanted to hear again about your mission trip, and I'm sure part of what I'll have to say is what I did on this side of the Atlantic Ocean while you were over on that side.
Oh, because I can't go anywhere without terrifying you. I went on a missions trip with a group that wanted to spread out across Europe, and I had just become an EMT. I was 19, and I went over there. It was only supposed to be for, I think it was just a few weeks.
Yeah.
And I was doing a musical show, and one of the reasons I got picked, I had heard about this group on the Christian radio station. So we're talking way back in 1989 where you heard things on the radio station. And I went to audition, and they loved my ability at mime.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, which is a form of dancing.
Yeah.
When you do it right, the way we did it.
You had your own team to direct. I reckon you would have been good.
Mm-hmm. So they picked me, and then we went off to... Here's what I didn't know when I joined this little group. I didn't know we were going to be smuggling Bibles into communist countries, but I was like, cool! God will protect us.
Yes. But we can also whip back to when you were getting your passport, and then what happened after getting your passport.
Oh, yeah. I had my passport. Part of this was also recording an album. I don't know why. The woman that was leading this up was a little bit insane, and you'll hear more about that later in the episode. I went into a sound stage. Is it a sound? No, I went into a music studio, and we were recording the songs that she had written that we were going to sing during the trip. And while we were all in the studio part, by the way, y'all, we're in a different location now, and we can't keep the cats out. And we have this crazy cat that thinks our new chairs are her chew toy.
Because we have new chairs because we're going to have video.
Which is coming up soon.
Yeah.
But again, back to the technical issues, it's not coming up right now.
Yeah.
We went into a studio to record songs for this album. I'm not sure why, now that I think about it. I'm not sure why you would pair an album with we're going off to Europe to save souls. But anyhow, while we were in the studio, so you had a lobby, and no one told us that it wouldn't be safe to leave our things in the lobby. So we left all of our things in the lobby, and then someone came in and stole them all.
Stole all your passports?
Well, no. I don't know.
Did they steal your purse?
Yeah, they stole everyone's purses.
Okay.
And I don't think everyone was carrying their passport. I was just very excited to have a passport. It was my first passport. So after this happened, we were going to leave in I don't know how many weeks. 1 or 2, something like that. And I called up my local congressman, who happened to be Newt Gingrich. I don't know if he's a congressman or a senator, but I called him.
Yeah.
And his employees were like, here's you a new passport in 72 hours.
I know.
They totally took care of me.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think about Republicans or Democrats, but having your senator or congressman take care of you when you need it is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I had just called them up and said I needed to get a new passport because someone robbed me and I was headed off on a missions trip. I don't know if that made a difference or not.
I don't either.
Anyhow, I got that, and then we went off to Germany, and that was quite the experience. I was very, shall we say, naive at the age of 19, and getting off the plane and going into the airport in Frankfurt, there was this big display of sex toys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Somebody needed their soul saved.
Well, apparently we didn't work on them.
Mm-hmm.
But I just stood there in astonishment looking at mannequins with sex toys on them and thought, oh my, we might need to save all of Germany. We went to where we were staying, which was in Offenburg, and I was allowed to wander around, so I did. And I thought, yeah, I'm in Germany. I'm going to have an adventure. I went to a restaurant, and it had pizza. But let me tell you, pepperoni does not mean the same thing in English that it means in German. So I ended up with a pizza that had very hot peppers on it.
Oh.
It was not my thing. It kind of made me want to cry. Then I went outside and ran into someone else because everyone had gathered together in Offenburg to prepare.
Yours wasn't the only team there, right?
That's correct. They had teams.
Yeah.
And so this guy, I don't know what team he was from. He was from team, do you want to come to my room and sleep with me? And I was very surprised and shocked at the idea that I would get hit on in the middle of a missions trip because I foolishly thought we all agreed on how fornication was a bad thing. So this guy led me. He didn't tell me he was going to try to sleep with me. We were walking along, and we get almost to his room, and he invites me in, and I'm like, oh no. But by this time, I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. So I start walking around thinking maybe I can find my way back to where I'm supposed to be staying.
Honey, I swear.
And some guy comes running for me. I mean, literally coming straight at me. I started praying in tongues. He grabs me. And I'm still praying in tongues. I think it scared him, thankfully. You know, I'm not strictly a Christian anymore. I'm not anything else. I'm an agnostic, but, I'd pick Christian over my other options, I think. Kind of am interested in Hinduism, but I'm not a Christian that's going around trying to save people anymore.
Yeah.
And I also have this belief that when Jesus died on the cross, if that really happened, because I'm an agnostic, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it's someone who doesn't know and doesn't know if you can know. I don't think it would be fair at all for Jesus to die on the cross and not get all the souls, whether they believe or not.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be a thing of you have to believe based on what other people say, based on word of mouth.
Yeah, according to the Word of God, the Bible, it didn't say that He died for our sins if we joined such and such an organization.
Exactly. And I know this sounds a bit crazy, but it's just something I've been thinking about for a long time, that I don't think it's fair for Satan to get all the people that don't believe word of mouth.
Yeah.
if they're living a good, because we already have the thing of if you're living a good life and you haven't heard the gospel,
Yeah.
that you just get to be chosen based on living a good life. So I'm all over here going, well, I'll take this over the other religions. Anyhow, where were we?
We were talking about the guy dragging you down the street and you're
Oh,
praying
yeah.
in tongues.
I was speaking in tongues, and I got away from him, and next thing I know, I'm in this alley, an actual alley, and I hear people screaming,
Ooh.
domestic violence, glass breaking, and I'm just like, Jesus, save me. And I kept wandering along. I had no idea where to go. It was dark by this time. I really screwed up on this front. Suddenly, I ran into this huge fellow. Huge. And he didn't even talk to me. He just took me by the hand and took me to where I was staying.
Wow.
Took me straight up to the door. I thanked him. He still didn't talk to me. He was just not chatty. I think he was an angel. I really do. Saved my life, and I did not make that mistake again. I had no idea you could go on a missions trip and run into people that are like, hey, you want to come to my room?
I know.
What the? So on we went. Again, this is when I first became an EMT. So I was very gung-ho. I had this big baseball duffel bag.
Yeah.
Full. I didn't just take a first aid kit. I took everything. Ironically, we did have someone get really sick, and the first aid kit was definitely not enough. He got sick, and we prayed over him in the place we were staying. Just so you know, we have moved to a new location. I think I mentioned it at the beginning. And one of my cats is now torturing us in this room. So if you hear random sounds, it's because of her. Anyhow, first aid was not enough for this fella. And we prayed for him. And I can't remember how many days later that it was that we were doing one of our concerts. We were in a part of Austria, I can't remember where, and we were performing in a park with supposed Satanists. I'm not sure they were Satanists. I think maybe they were just people that were into punk rock or whatever. And he went over and laid down in the middle of the show on the side of the park.
Didn't he have a kidney problem or something like that?
I can't remember if it was kidneys or liver.
Okay.
Might have been kidney. The important thing here, though, is if you can't make it through the show and you lay down, so the driver of our van, who was assigned to us when we got there and was a German, he and I were like, oh my goodness, we need to take this young man to a hospital. And because we were in Austria, which is not the same as Germany, even though they speak the same language, we get to the hospital and they weren't, it turns out in that country at the time, they separated out medical care and emergency care. So they're like, we can't do anything for you. So he and I rushed over to another hospital where they told us to go. We go in there, and they're like, it's okay. And I said, could you take his temperature? So they took his temperature, and then they're like, oh my God, we have to admit him. I think it's sad that an EMT from the U.S. had to tell them how to do their job. So they put him in the hospital. We go back, and we're in big trouble for doing this with the woman that was heading up our team. She decided to kick this guy off the team.
Who, the driver?
Yeah. I don't know who drove after that. That part I can't remember. But she just dropped him off on the side of the road. Then she went to the hospital and told the young man that we put in there, "You're not going to be able to get out of here unless you can pay." He was telling me later that he thought he was going to have to get tie up the sheets and climb out the window.
Bless his heart.
I know. And in reality, this was around the time that I called you in the U.S. and said, "Oh my God, everything has gone wrong and I don't know how we're going to pay for it." And then, "I don't have enough money to keep talking to you," and hung up on you.
And then when I called back, all I could get was somebody who did not speak the English language. I was in such a panic, but I called the organization there in Atlanta.
Exactly. And the organization was like, "Of course we're going to pay for his medical bills, and your daughter's fine." This woman was just crazy.
She was. I wish we did have some documentation about that group. I would love to check on them today to see if they're still around. Maybe we'll do that.
Well, I know the name of the group, but I don't want to bring that up because...
Well, I know I don't want to tell anybody here, but...
Exactly. If y'all want to know, you can ask.
Yeah.
You can like and subscribe and make a comment, and we might answer your questions. Anyhow, I have always felt like I should have gone with the guy that went out on the side of the road. Because there was one point where I was being told that we were there to save Catholic people.
And that was just pure insanity. But
Exactly.
then we think, you know how agnostically we have opinions about all organizations.
We
that
do
hear
now,
from
but
God.
at the time I was just a Christian.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're Christians, I'm Christians.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? It's okay if we don't like organizations now.
Yeah, I know.
But at the time, I'm like, wait, you want to focus on Catholics instead of people that don't know anything about God? What in the world?
Yeah.
And because I had that feeling, I got put in solitary confinement at one of the places we stayed. They just stuck me over there because I didn't have the right attitude. I'm like, what are we saving them from?
Yeah.
I mean, this woman was crazy. And if I hadn't been 19, naive, and insecure,
Yeah.
I would have taken her on.
Yeah.
Now I would take her on, but now I'm in my 50s.
Yeah.
Probably would have taken her on in my 30s. Not sure when I got confident.
Been slow coming, but it's here now.
If my friend, my bestie, that lives out in California had been with me,
Oh, yeah.
I think we would have taken her on.
Yeah.
She would have been like,
She's a firecracker.
she really is. I mean, she gets a little carried away, but this would have been the time for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, girlfriend.
So it was quite
Get
the
wild.
experience. We went to Austria. I did not get to go up and sing "The Hills Are Alive" with the Sound of Music. And we snuck into Yugoslavia with Bibles. That was a very... I should have been much more frightened of that, but I just knew God was protecting me.
Obviously, considering
we
you've already
crossed
been
the
in
border.
a dark alley, hearing people screaming and things breaking.
My favorite part was when we went to Checkpoint Charlie. This was, let's see, I can't remember what month we went, but it was just literally a few months before the wall came down. At
Between
this point, the wall was still up.
The wall between East Berlin and West Berlin.
Oh, you think we have millennials listening to this?
I want them to think it was some other wall.
I climbed up. For some reason, they had stairs you could climb up to peek over to the other side. And they had these soldiers with their guns. And again, clearly I was not the brightest. And I just waved at this young man who was holding a rifle. And he looked left and he looked right. And then he waved back at me.
Oh, bless him.
And that was the first time I realized that the people on the other side of the wall were the same as us. They were just trapped.
Yeah.
So when I came home and that wall came down, that was particularly special for me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. that's it for this episode. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, we're waiting. Soon we will have video. I don't know if that'll make a difference to you, but we will see you on the flip side.
Bye-bye.